Thank you for joining me in this video. In the previous video, we discussed about the what is leadership. We will now continue with the Neuro Semantics of Actualizing Self-Leadership. I'd like to bring to you 3 points in this video. 1, the models for self-actualization. 2, 7 core competencies for actualizing your highest and best. And 3, 7 leadership criteria that you will take in order to actualize your self-leadership. Let's take the first point, that is the models for self-leadership. In neurosemantics and self-actualization psychology, we are using 5 models in order to guide us, to give us a structure of how to bring out the best leadership characteristics in a person. The first model is the hierarchy of needs. From this model, we look at the needs, the instincts, the instinctoids in the human being. The symbolic needs, the neurotic needs, the healthy needs in a person, and also the criteria of needs and effective coping. The second model is the human potential movement encounter groups. We look at the failure of the first human potential movement and the reasons why it failed. And from there we discovered that there was no single model for how to unleash potentials in systematic and dependable way. The third model is the meaning performance axis. Whatever someone brings to full actualization is meaningful and is performed. The fourth model is the Self-Actualization Quadrants. And from this Self-Actualization Quadrants, we identify the self-actualization pathway, getting into the zone, the synergy of meaning and performance. And we realize that change and performance, meaningful performance, is systemic and it is not linear. And there are altogether 12 meta programs involved in this self-actualization quadrants. And the fifth model used for self-actualization is the matrix embedded pyramids. In this model, we identify that the meaning you give is the instinct that you live. Semantically loaded drives that becomes neurotic needs. Trying to self-actualize at too low a level prevents you from actualizing your best self. And from the matrix embedded pyramids, we are moving up the axis of meaning in order to go to higher and higher level meanings that will become the meanings that drive our performance. That's the first point, the models for self-actualization. The second point about neurosemantics of actualizing self-leadership is the 7 core competencies for actualizing your highest and best self. These 7 competencies comes from the 7 matrices that we move into the world with all of these 7 matrices. The matrix of self, the matrix of others, the matrix of power, the matrix of time, the matrix of the world, and our matrix of state, matrix of meaning, and matrix of purpose. So from these 7 matrices, there are 7 core competencies. From the matrix of self, the competency of authenticity. From the matrix of state, the competency of passionate. From the matrix of power is the competency of empowerment. From the matrix of intention, there's the competency of congruence. From the matrix of meaning comes the competency of creativity. From the matrix of time is the competency of presence. From the matrix of world comes the competency of courage. And from the matrix of others brings us the competency of collaboration. So these are 7 core competencies for actualizing your highest and best: authenticity, passionate, empowerment, creativity, presence, courage, and collaborate. The third point about actualizing self-leadership are the 7 leadership criteria. Why 7? Because they are also driven from the matrices. The first leadership criteria is the criteria for authenticity. Being and then acting from your true self without masks and personas. Being real and true to yourself, to your gifts, talent, values, and vision. The second criteria is the criteria of integrity. It's about being as good as your word, impeccably honest, and fair-minded. The third criteria is the criteria of congruency, applying the principles to yourself so that you walk the talk. The fourth criteria is the criteria of contributing, giving of yourself to others, serving the organization from the organization's principles. The next criteria, the fifth criteria, is the criteria for collaborating, operating as a team player, and cooperating with the others around you. The sixth criteria is pioneering, leading or moving out into new areas. That's what leaders do. And the seventh criteria is the criteria of communicating, sharing and disclosing in ways that are appropriate, clear, precise, engaging, and compelling. So these are the 7 leadership criteria: authenticity, integrity, congruency, contributing, collaborating, pioneering, and communicating. So these are the 3 points about the Neuro Semantics of Actualizing Self-Leadership, the models of self-actualization, 7 core competencies for actualizing your highest and best, and the 7 leadership criteria. Thank you for joining me in this video. In the next video, we will be discussing on the 5 essential leadership skills.